Trump to prepare facility at Guantanamo for 30,000 migrants.
Kuala Lumpur port on the first day of the new year 2025.
Foreigners are excited to celebrate Vietnamese Tet.
You're watching today's news on NTV. My name is Nguyễn Thị and I will be your guide through today's latest update. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday he will order the Pentagon and the Department of Homeland Security to prepare a migrant detention facility at Guantanamo Bay for as many as 30,000 migrants.
Donald Trump said the facility would be used to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. The U.S. naval base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, already houses a migrant facility, separate from the high-security U.S. prison for foreign terrorism suspects, that has been used on occasion for decades, including to hold Haitians and Cubans picked up at sea. The detention facility at Guantanamo Bay was set up in 2002 by then U.S. President George W. Bush to detain foreign militant suspects following the September 11, 2001, attacks on the United States. There are 15 detainees left in the prison.
The Syrian military government announced that Syria's de facto leader Ahmed al-Shara has been appointed as the country's president during the transitional period, and all military factions in Syria will be dissolved.
According to the spokesman for the Syrian military government, with his appointment as the country's interim president, al-Shara will represent Syria at international forums. In addition, Mr. Abdul Ghani also announced the immediate dissolution of all military factions and political organizations to integrate them into state institutions. The announcement was made at a conference held in the capital Damascus. Previously, Mr. al-Shara also outlined goals including narrowing the governance gap, integrating armed groups into the state system, and restoring Syria's position with regional and global partners.
The first day of the New Year's are always an important time for seaport. At Cửa Lò port, when the ship's horn sounds, the first cargo container are loaded onto the ship, sending favorable expectation for a new year.
To prepare everything to welcome customers at the beginning of the new year, in addition to super-sized and super-heavy equipment, the port added 2 cranes, each with a lifting capacity of 30 tons. Right in the first days of the year, the warehouse system was upgraded. Especially, the shipping channel was dredged to a depth of 7.2 meters, creating favorable conditions for 15,000-ton fully loaded ships and 25,000-ton lightly loaded ships to enter the port. Ships entering and leaving the port with a bustling atmosphere is a sign of prosperity for a new year for the unit. The year 2024 has passed. A new year 2025 is forecasted to have many difficulties. But with the spirit of adaptation and improving competitiveness, the staff and workers of Nghệ An Port are happy to still retain many traditional customers and have new customers. In 2025, Nghệ An Port Joint Stock Company plans to reach over 4.6 million tons of cargo through the port, with expected revenue of about 215 billion Vietnamese dongs.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Yen Tan is a locality with a high number of laborers working abroad, consistently ranking at the top of the province with 22,000 people. In 2024, the amount of remittances sent back to Yen Tan reached $250 million, accounting for 50% of the district's annual production value, of which the amount of remittances sent back during the Lunar New Year is estimated at about $15 million. The reason for the increase in remittances in 2024 compared to the previous year is due to the increase in the number of exported workers. Currently, the whole district has 22,000 people working abroad. Among them, there are many workers in European countries with very good incomes, sending a significant amount of remittances back to their homeland every year, especially during the Lunar New Year.
Hong Pagoda Festival. a tourist destination. Culture, Vietnamese tradition, takes place for 3 months. From February 3rd to May 1st, 2025. According to the organizing committee, this year's festival promises to bring many impressive new features to visitors. In particular, the opening ceremony will be held together with the reception of the decision to recognize the Hanoi city-level tourist area and a vibrant cultural tourism week with the convergence of folk art forms such as puppetry, cheo, gong, to reduce inconvenience for visitors and avoid loss of revenue from fees to the budget. My Duck district decided to issue electronic tickets for sightseeing, integrated with the use of boat transportation services. All costs from entrance fees, boat tickets, cable car tickets, tram tickets, and vehicle parking are publicly listed. In addition, the locality will strengthen inspection, control, and handling of the display of sell inappropriate and offensive items and ensure security and order and fire prevention.
After winning the 2024 ASEAN Cup, Vietnam team aims to pass the 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers, where the Golden Dragons are in the same group as Malaysia, Laos and Nepal. This task is not easy when Malaysia is naturalizing many quality players and is ready to compete for the ticket to the next round with Coach Kim Sang-sik's team. Coach Kim Sang-sik and his team will play the opening match of Group D of the 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers against Laos on March 25 at home. To prepare for this match, the Vietnam team will have the opportunity to play a friendly match with Myanmar on March 19 or 20.
Tết or Lunar New Year holiday is the most important celebration for Vietnamese people. However, many foreigners, after living and working in Vietnam, have found special appeal and joy in the custom and practices of Tết. From preparing Tết dishes, grabbing chung cake, to visiting Tết greetings and participating in traditional cultural activity, they have felt the warmth and coziness that Tết brings to them.
Despite experiencing many Tết holidays in Vietnam, Joe's family from the Philippines are still very excited when the New Year comes. Because, each year the traditional Lunar New Year has its own color. This year, Joe took his wife and children to visit many tourist destinations in Nghệ An.
Most thing that impressed me is the Vietnamese culture. You know, it's really good. You know, my Vietnamese friends are so friendly. Like yesterday, we traveled to Nghệ An, the popular sunflower, and some campsite there. We spent a quality time with my family and with friends. It was yesterday. And tomorrow we will go to another place here in Nghệ An. So this coming holiday, we would like to tour around Nghệ An.
Mr. Kohei from Japan works for a non-governmental organization, so he has been to many countries around the world. However, for him, the first time experiencing Vietnamese Tết in Con Quang district, a place with a large concentration of ethnic minorities, was extremely new and interesting.
I experienced Vietnamese Tết holiday for the first time in Con Quang, Nghệ An. It was a great experience and great memory to enjoy delicious food like bánh chun and drink a lot of alcohol with socializing with everyone. I also found it interesting that fireworks were set off from various places in a city at midnight. Also, it was a bit scary. Vietnam and Japan are really closed country, geographically closed and culturally closed. However, this Tết experience, I realized that there are still many fascinating aspects of Vietnamese culture.
Tết is not just a holiday, but also an opportunity for foreigners to feel more deeply about Vietnamese culture and people. Not only are there festival activities, many foreigners also deeply feel the meaning of Tết through the reunion of Vietnamese families.
For almost 3 years, but I've actually never tried bánh chun. So my number one goal right now, this coming Tết holiday, is to taste bánh chun. Yeah, and maybe spend a night in a Vietnamese family's house, because I have this one friend who is inviting me to their household for a Tet holiday, and I'd like to see and experience for myself how you celebrate it.
Lunar New Year has become a special occasion for international friends to love and be more attached to the country and people of Vietnam. Although coming from different cultures, everyone feels the warm, family atmosphere of Vietnam's Tet holiday. All wish for a peaceful New Year.
That is the end of today's news. Thanks for your watching and see you next time.